The 1940s were seemingly short because of World War II's influence on America. The computer was invented for military use, as were the helicopter, the jet engine, and the atomic bomb. Rosie the Riveter signaled acceptance of slacks for women. Dresses had wide shoulder pads and mid-calf hemlines. Hats of every shape and size and gloves were a required part of every lady's social wardrobe. Glenn Miller was #1 on the music charts, as was Kate Smith, whose signature song, God Bless America, became synonymous with the war effort. After the war ended in 1945, the GI Bill of Rights entitled returning soldiers, men, to a college education. Women had to give up their jobs to the returning men, including married women who had taught school during the war, but they had tasted independence. Some state organizations awarded scholarships to members. I am so glad that this new GI Bill has passed the Congress. It's a just reward for what all those men sacrificed, and I don't mean to minimize their efforts, but what about all of us women who served right here at home? I'd like to get a master's degree, but I don't know where I can get any extra money. Well, funny you should mention that. I belong to a professional organization for women educators, Delta Kappa Gamma Society, and I have just been awarded our state's first scholarship to go back to school for my master's degree. Ooh, that's great! A scholarship for women. How much is it for? $75. One of the original purposes of the society stated that women teachers shall carry on work which shall result in giving financial aid to some of the capable women who are preparing themselves for the teaching profession. In 1939, Delta Kappa Gamma's National Fund for Scholarships totaled $11,668. The interest from the fund financed the first grant of $1,000 in 1940. The scholarship program is just one of the highlights begun in the 1940s. The Delta Kappa Gamma Bulletin, the World Fellowship Program, the Emergency Fund, National Achievement Award, Educators Award, legislative focus regarding teacher discrimination, welfare, and improvement, the 4 regions, election of regional directors, and biennial regional conferences. The first 4 regional conferences were held in early 1947 in the same location, New York City. National Planning Committee, the precursor to the current Administrative Board, to act in an advisory capacity to the President. Searching for a site for national headquarters, the National Executive Committee selected a lot at West 12th and San Antonio Streets in Austin, Texas, for the cost of $7,800. The deed for the lot was recorded January 5, 1940. Subsequently, Dr. Blanton encouraged gifts to the building fund by suggesting at banquets, "Perhaps you might like to slip a bill under your plate for building headquarters." National presidents of the 1940s were Dr. Macy K. Southall, Tennessee, Dr. Emma Reinhardt, Illinois, Dr. M. Margaret Stroh, Oregon, District of Columbia, Dr. Catherine Nutterville, Oregon, Montana, and Berdella M. Ross, Minnesota. Achievement Award recipients were Madeline Vaverka, Macy Southall, Margaret Louise White, Emma Reinhardt, Clara Parker, May Allen, Margaret Stroh, Berdella Ross, Catherine Obai, and Dorothea Meager. Under the leadership of Dr. Annie Webb Blanton, the Delta Kappa Gamma Society was chartered with 12 founders on May 11, 1929 in Austin, Texas. By the time of her death in October 1945, all 50 of the United States were organized. 15 state organizations were added. In 1938, with the approaching 10th Society anniversary, a group of members decided to raise money for a portrait of Dr. Blanton, who was unaware of the project until a check was presented to her at the 10th National Convention in 1939. At the 1940 convention, Dr. Eula Lee Carter presented the portrait, cost $925, painted by artist Keith Martin, nephew of founder Dr. Cora M. Martin. Thousands of members have stood before this painting, the only portrait displayed at Society headquarters, and noted the sincerity, friendliness, and courage of the founder. DKG celebrates those undaunted women who changed education and educators, and whose foresight has continued to guide women educators for 100 years.